Hi, this is the Gluten-Free Maven. Today we're talking about the Hamilton Beach Egg Cooker. I purchased it at Kohl's recently with some really good sales and Kohl's Cash, and the whole thing was about $3.50, a bit less, $3.50, and it normally retails between $20 and $25. And they have two styles. They have one that's sort of a flat top and it's a clear cover, and this is real metal. The other one's plastic. It has a hole for steam. And then you have the base where you put the water in. And you have this plastic part where you can put up to 7 eggs at a time for hard boiling, soft boiling, or medium boil. And then this for an egg poacher. It's non-stick. I don't find it to be like a very good type of non-stick, but so far it's worked. And what you have to do is take this cup, and it gives you the measurements. They're very hard to read. You put the amount of water depending on how many eggs you have and whether you're soft or hard boiling them or poaching them. Now the indentation is on the inside, and I've tried putting a piece of paper in. I thought about coloring over it, but again, the indentation's inside, so you can't cover up, take a Sharpie and go over it so you see the numbers. And apparently it was printed in reverse. From what I could suss out from various reviews, normally, like if you have 7 eggs, the number should be here, but there's a 1 up here. And there were different theories that maybe the more eggs you need less because there's less space for the steam to circulate. But I found that filling it to the top line for 7 hard-boiled eggs works perfectly. And the poached eggs, it's about in the middle. Today I'm going to show you poached eggs. And there's also on the bottom a little spike. A lot of these sorts of egg cookers, you have to poke that little air space in the bottom so that they don't explode, like various microwave cookers and when you're doing hard boil. But this you did not, and I have to say the hard boil come out excellent and perfect. You just put them like so, and it takes about 18 minutes. And I did time it with a separate timer, 18 minutes for the hard boiled and 6 minutes for the poached, and the machine beeps to let you know it's done, and it went off on its own, and it was fine. It went off at the exact same time as the independent timer, and I have to say they do come out perfect, the hard-boiled ones, and to me it was worth it. It takes up a really relatively small amount of space on the counter, and I find it easier to rinse off than a big pot, actually, or even a small pot, because then I have to dry it somewhere. This sort of stacks back into itself, and you just put, as I showed you, the water goes in the reservoir down there, and when the water gets used up from the heat source, this beeps and lets you know it's done. So I'm going to turn it on and set this timer to 6 minutes, and we'll see how they come out. There we go. As you can see, we're getting close to the finish line here, and there's quite a lot of steam coming out. I'm not sure if it's showing up on camera, but there's steam coming out of the hole, so you can't stand right on top of it, and you still have to be careful with children. And one thing I found with this, people ask a popular question in the reviews is, do the eggs peel better, the hard-boiled eggs? And I have to say yes. And I find this is like one of those things in life that I've been searching for the perfect method, and I've been using a method for a few years that works for me fairly well, but I still get those sticky shells. I use some baking soda, like a tablespoon, in the pot, and then I drain the eggs after they're done. I put a bunch of ice in the pot, shake it around, crack it, and then add cold water. And the cold water sort of seeps in between to separate the egg from the shell, and it peels fairly easily. But this peels even better, and I have to say I was super pleased about the texture. There's no guesswork as long as you work out this, and I did write to the company. Okay, we're done. We'll see. It didn't quite beep yet. Let's see how much longer. And they have not gotten back to me because I wanted to know if they can sort of send a chart that I can use and measure by volume, which may be more helpful. But so far I have not heard back. Okay, since we're over the 6 minutes, I'm going to stop it. Normally it makes a beeping sound. But normally you hear a beeping sound and you give a shut off. Now, as you can see, they look pretty great. And I'm going to scoop them onto the plate. They come out quite easily. And you have this perfect little yolk. Oh, it's starting to ooze out without even me cutting. You can see how beautiful that is, how liquidy that is for a poached egg. And poached eggs can be extremely challenging because oftentimes I personally have the problem. First of all, people have the issue lowering it into the water bath. Is the water bath boiling too much and it breaks it apart? I find I do get a lot of the shredded whites. What work for me the best are these little silicone cups. But I love this. I can use it for hard boiled and poached. It's the Hamilton Beach egg maker. You can find it online and in stores that sell housewares, and it's really worth it and a great addition for the gluten-free kitchen.